Hey there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom. 7 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we are talking about one of my favorite exercises. We're going to do this. I'm going to give you a heads up. We're going to do this exercise every month this year as we practice and install into our subconscious tools and tips and strategies and techniques and habits, things that have worked for me so well that I want to make sure that you learn them this year, install them in your subconscious, and have them at your fingertips whenever you need them. And today's exercise is one of those. I call it the 7 Why exercise. Dean Graziosi is who I learned this from in January of 2020. A lot of us are familiar with, or you may not be familiar with, the 5 Why exercise or tool, the 5 Why tool, where you ask yourself a question and then you ask yourself, well, why? Why do I want that thing that I say that I want? Or why am I asking that question? And then you take the answer to that question and you ask why again. Well, why that? Why is that important to me? And I'll walk you through my example. I did mine already. But really we do this for problem solving to get to the root cause of something. And we do it for problem solving in our life or challenge areas or for whatever, or just to try to understand ourselves or a situation better. We can use this tool and this exercise. And it doesn't seem like it would be very, very powerful, but questions are the most powerful thing we can do in terms of taking action. If we're willing to ask ourselves questions, if we're willing to look at things objectively and stepping back and just be an observer of things, we will behave and respond and react and take action in ways that are much better for us than we may have in the past. So let me give you an example of this. For this challenge, I'm just asking myself, what do I want? Or why do I want to supersize? We're asking why questions, not what. Why do I want to supersize? Why do I want to be a bigger, better version of myself? And the first thing I wrote down was to become a better person. Well, so that's our second why. Why do I want to be a better person? Well, to set an example for others. You see, I've got this right here. Well, why do I want to set an example for others? Well, to initiate and to change the lives of people I love and care about, right? Especially starting with my own life. Well, why do I want to initiate and change different areas and aspects of my life? So that I can be an example of how awesome I can be in different areas and aspects of my life and how awesome I can make my life. Realizing that I have personal responsibility and personal power and freedom to actually create any type of life that I want. So if you're struggling and there's something in your life you don't like, maybe instead of blaming other things outside of us, things we have no control over, so heck, some people blame the weather because they're grumpy in the morning. Really? Does the weather actually have any control over you? Wake up call. No, it doesn't. It has no control over us. It's up to us to decide what everything means. And we can choose a good positive meaning that helps us to create the life we want, or we can choose a negative meaning to feel awful all day and ruin a whole day and waste a whole day of the precious small amount of time we have here on the planet. So why do I want to get to be an example of how awesome I can make my life? Well, to set an example for other people and to clearly demonstrate to others to the world that it's possible for me. And guess what? If it's possible for me, it's possible for you and anybody else who wants to do, be, have, or change something about their life. So why do I want to clearly demonstrate this, that it's possible for me? Well, to prove that it's possible for those I love and care about and those that I'm here to serve, work with, and set an example for. And guess what? It's not everybody. I'm only a couple people's cup of tea. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And then the final why is, why do I want to prove it's possible to you, so that you know that you are 100% capable of creating what you want? Well, to create a legacy and know that my life has purpose and was purpose-filled and mattered, and that I was here for a reason, right? We all want, I guess that's significance. We all want to feel like we matter, like we're significant, like what we do and say matters to other people, and not in a self-judgmental way, but just to know that we're contributing to the positive energy on the planet. That's how I like to look at it. So what are we doing today? We're asking ourselves, and I'll suggest that you ask yourself, why do I want to supersize? Why do I want to participate in this challenge? Why do I want to be a better version of myself? Some question along those lines. And then whatever you write down, and usually the first thing you pop into your head is your most honest, most true, most valuable answer, even if it doesn't sound like it's the answer. If you ask yourself that and you say, because I want to be a billionaire or whatever, just ask why of that next. Well, why do you want to be a billionaire? Well, why do you want that? Why do you want that? 7 whys deep. And I actually went 8 whys deep today. And I got down to realize it was in me and each of us all of the time. Just had to let it out and let myself have it. Why? Because I don't give myself permission to have, do, and be all that I want all of the time. None of us do. All right. Any questions about this 7-why exercise, please ask. Like I said, this is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your toolbox. And I will add a caveat. Use it on yourself. It never works to try to ask 7 whys deep and try to understand what motivates or why somebody else did something that they did. It's an exercise in futility. So I highly recommend when you ask the question why, ask it of yourself and understand yourself better. And that in and of itself sets a great example for other people. All right. Have an awesome day. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow. Why? Because I can't not show up.